Our final question this morning on this postgraduate certificate in teaching and learning in higher education comes back indeed to the heart of the matter. What are the implications of this experience for teaching and for learning? So I'm going to ask Ciarán perhaps to think of it in terms of teaching and Dan to think of it in terms of learning. So Ciarán, turning to you first, what are the implications of this experience this morning for your teaching in higher education?
Well, for me as a teacher, I have come here, I teach Irish language. I'm a language teacher and I've come here, I don't teach art, it's not a part of it, so I've come here, I'm beyond my comfort zone. I'm beyond the boundaries of really what I know, and I've had to come in here and perform. So I have, and to learn as well. And for me, it's very important that I have that experience myself, because then I know when the students come into my class, that's where they're going. They're coming in to learn Irish, or things about Irish, and they're going beyond their experience and beyond the boundaries of what they know. And I am asking them to function there. And to function there in a way that they'll engage their higher order thinking and will learn. And it's good for all of us, I think, to know, and to ground ourselves and to remember this is what's going on in the student's head. I'm standing here and being asked questions that are way beyond my experience. And I have to work with it, and I have to live with it, and I come away having learned something. So from the point of view of a teacher, I think it's very important that we all conduct these exercises, and that we all put ourselves always in our students' shoes.
Okay. That is a wonderful answer in terms of the teacher as learner. And we don't often, I think of ourselves, we're put in the role of the teacher almost sometimes as dictator, and the teacher as knower and as all-seeing. But the teacher as learner is a very valued experience in this museum. So now we will ask Dan to look at it from the perspective of the learner, and indeed the teacher as learner also, but the learners in his class. What would be the implications of this for learning in higher education? Dan.
Well, for me, it's again a very, very good representation of a different type of learning. A learning you hear about quite a lot in terms of 21st century learner. Oh, you have to be a synthetic learner, you have to be a creative learner, you have to be metacognitive, etc. But they're all just words. A student comes up here, particularly a student who's used to kind of memorizing and regurgitating, or what Robert Keegan calls downloading information. You can download information about art. Go up there and you can read the title and you say, well, that's it, that's the knitting map, and move on. Or you can stay with it for a while, slow down, and then it becomes transformative learning. Changing the way you actually think. Over a period of, half an hour or so, because we were sharing experiences, we changed the way we think about a piece of art. And that's genuine transformative learning. We talk about it a lot, it's in a lot of our strategy documents, but what does it mean in practice? This will be a wonderful experience for students in terms to actually see that in action. They would come away from here with something new. In information downloading, you don't really come away with anything new. You're just learning off stuff. With this, it will mean something, it will be personal, and in that sense, they will get an appreciation of a very, very deeper sense of learning. So for me, very, very important piece, very, very important space for the type of learning that students need to negotiate.
So there you have it. I couldn't put it better. The whole, I suppose, idea in bringing it together is that not only are we looking at the knitting map this morning and appreciating that, but we are trying to map what learning is, make visible the various levels of learning and stages of it. And as both Dan and Ciarán have put it so well there, this learning experience takes you out of your comfort zone. You have to ask questions, you have to think, you have to go beyond what is given, beyond rote learning. And I suppose ultimately you go as well to Bloom's taxonomy and thinking of higher order thinking and how we are engaging with the work through questioning it, critiquing it, and being with it. As Dan said just there, we need to spend time with the work. It's not a question of just reading the title, knitting map, and cruising along to the next wall. So we are hoping that those of you taking this course will indeed open yourselves up to the world of art, as learners and as teachers, and that in that sense you leave the gallery, whether real or virtual, richer for the experience and opening up that learning experience ultimately for your students, and taking that scholarship of teaching and learning journey which asks you to look for the evidence of student learning and to make that journey interesting and exciting for your own students.